欲しいものをもらうだけさ。フェイトグランドオーダーコスモス・イン・ザ・ロストベルト妖精円卓領域アバロン・ルフェ血染めの冠お一つどうだい。
Hello everyone, welcome back for some more Let's Play Fate Grand Order. We are moving on to, this is the last node I've heard of, at least I think so. I think people said this is the final one of part 2 before we move on to part 3. I'm excited. I'm very excited. Let's go on. We just had kind of a tragic time last time. A little bit. Well, we rang the final bell. We're all powered up. Einsel / Gareth is dead. Oh, and we're in Camelot.
I have a report to make, Queen Morgan. Tamlin Barghest and Tamlin Lancelot have finished arranging their formation on Camelot's ramparts. Lady Aurora of the Wind Clan has assembled an army and departed from Salisbury.
Lady Aurora is the only other person who really employs humans, huh?
They should arrive at Camelot's west gate tomorrow. Lord Spriggan of the Earth Clan is already here, along with his private company of soldiers. Lady Murian of the Wing Clan has sided with the Child of Prophecy and refused your summons. Of our 105 royal knights stationed around Britain, 80 have returned to Camelot, while 25 remain in their respective territories after refusing your summons.
Oh! Even some of them are refusing. Not even all the knights are here. I can't believe there are defectors in the Queen's own army. Doesn't this mean Camelot's forces are outnumbered now? Not to mention all the bells of pilgrimage have been rung. They say the Child of Prophecy's magical energy is now the equal of Her Majesty's, and the foreign mage is said to command ghosts whose power rival even our knights. What do you think we should do? Maybe it's not too late to change sides ourselves. Oh, that's a bad idea to whisper like that among, you know, everyone here. No, it's okay. We have nothing to fear as long as we have the Tamlin. She may have been defeated, but These dudes don't know. She may have been defeated, but Barghest is still as strong as ever. They'll never get through the main gate with her around. Aurora says she will be late, does she? Precisely the sort of trickery I expect from her. Yeah, that was her, human soldiers. Remember how I said I don't trust Aurora? Boom. Tell Barghest she needn't bother opening the west gate.
But, Your Majesty, that would mean...
Do not make me repeat myself. Your Majesty, what would you have us do with the knights who refused your summons? If you'd like to have them branded traitors, we'd be happy to go confiscate their territories. That will not be necessary. I've already disposed of those who refused my summons personally. The very act of weighing me against the Child of Prophecy is itself blasphemy, and punishable by death. She killed knights all across the land in a single night? How? It may not compare to the Tamlin, but a single one of the Queen's knights is still the equal of 1,000 ordinary soldiers. And she killed 25 of them? All by herself? Silence, you dithering idiots. I did not summon my knights here because I required their aid. I merely offered them a chance to demonstrate their loyalty. Camelot will never fall, no matter what the rebel army may attempt. In my estimation, they are no greater a threat than the 8th calamity. I can handle them alone, easily. And the Child of Prophecy is a fool for thinking she can match me merely by ringing the bells of pilgrimage. How many times does she think I have completed the same pilgrimage? One such journey does not give her power enough to match even my little finger. What do you mean by that? How many times have you done it? What? Oh, is that did Your Majesty just admit to undergoing the pilgrimage herself? Does that mean the rumors are true? Is High Queen Morgan actually a fairy of paradise?
Your Majesty, please forgive my interruption. We've just received a call from Lady Knock-na-Reeve of the King Clan's Mere. Shall I answer it?
Yes, bring me the mirror.
At once, Your Majesty. Spatial mirror, to me!
Good day, Queen Morgan. It is I, Knock-na-Reeve, descendant of the Northern Fairies. First, I must offer an apology in regards to your recent request. I'm afraid I was unable to dispose of the Child of Prophecy as you instructed me. Following a fair and honorable duel, the Child of Prophecy and I have become Close friends. I do hope you can forgive me for failing to do as you commanded. Not that I expect a frigid bitch like you ever thought I would be. Whoa. Not that I expect a frigid bitch like you ever thought I would be to begin with, since you don't trust anyone. Dang. Why, that little... How dare that northern barbarian speak to her majesty that way? Oh, but I do bring you some glad tidings, Queen Morgan. Let me offer my congratulations. At long last, you're going to be freed from the burden of ruling Britain. For too long, you've been sucking us dry with your command spells and been woefully inadequate with your responses to the great calamities. So long as you remain on the throne, Britain has no future. And above all, I'm the rightful heir to the throne as granted to me by my predecessor, Queen Mab. It's time for you to retire, Morgan. We can't trust you with Britain any longer. As Knock-Nariv, the rightful Queen of Britain, I offer Camelot's current administration an opportunity to surrender. If you refuse to peacefully hand over your castle by tomorrow morning, I'll come take it by force. Your treaty with my predecessor, the past queen, is now null and void. Prepare yourself, Morgan Le Fay. This is a declaration of war from the child of the queen and the child of prophecy. Let's go. That's it. War has begun. And we're up on the northern plains here. Okay. Dang, are we just like right here? 1.5 days after the attack on Londinium. The evening of the 44th day in Britain. Oh. 4. 4. The number that means death. But twice. This'll be great. Yo, she's exuding that energy. There, that's a declaration of war taken care of. We've established that we are in the right. Aren't you supposed to declare war before giving the enemy a chance to surrender? Right? I thought you first declared war, then offered your enemy a chance to surrender after you weakened them. Oh, come on, you know Morgan would never surrender. We're just getting the formalities out of the way. So the fighting begins tomorrow morning. Assuming that we'll need to organize new formations for our army anyway, how should we go about our siege? It doesn't look as though the Queen's army will try to attack us out here in the open. Nope. The fact that there aren't any troops out on the plains means they're definitely just focusing on shoring up their defenses. Good thing for us too, since that let the Round Table army get here from Oxford today. So it's finally time to bring down the big castle, huh? Which gate do we take? Main, west, or east? Bro just thinks it's Takashi's castle. This is the main gate. That's what Knock-Nariv put together her giant corp for. After we smash the main gate, the Northern Fairy Army and the Round Table Army will occupy the castle town. So personally, I'd rather wait to do that. I'd wait to do that until after we've seized control of the castle itself, but I already told you, no way. I want to keep my new castle in pristine condition. Especially the throne. Even if we succeeded defeating Morgan, it won't mean anything if we destroy the throne in the process. There's something special about that throne? Something special that actually has it floating behind her in her new summer form that is coming in 2 years? No, not really. I just plan to get a lot of use out of it once it's mine. Oh. I see. Don't you think you're getting ahead of yourself? We haven't even started fighting yet, let alone won. I'd worry about yourself more than me. Never mind the castle town. You guys are gonna have the hardest time of all once you're inside the castle itself. Morgan's gonna come straight for you and Tanner. If either of you dies, that'll pretty much put paid to Einzel's prophecy. If that happens, the Round Table Army's morale will crumble, and me and my army will be the only ones to survive. Yes, that's a good point. Should we have Artoria and Tanner stay behind then? Not an option. We'll never break through the main gate without the Fairy Paradise's protection. Especially with Bargus and Lancelot standing in our way. Artoria, Mash, Tanner are the only ones who can hold their own against those two. You three will need to be the vanguard the whole time. First the gate, then the city, then the castle. Got it? Soon we'll be back in that throne room again. What is it, Knock-Nariv? What's with the sigh? If you got something to say, now's the time to say it. You won't get another chance before tomorrow night. If you don't say something memorable now, you'll just end up as that weird chocolate queen. Who asked you? Besides, you know what I pledged, right? So never mind that now. As soon as Morgan's defeat and that throne is mine, I'll be ready to settle things on a rematch. Well, what do you know? I thought you'd be in a foul mood once the Round Table Army joined us, but you're more fired up than ever. Guess having your rival and your lover here was just the motivator you needed. Pretty much. Neither of them belong to me just yet, but you can definitely never have too many rewards. Which is why we need to cover every possible angle in this strategy meeting. Artoria, Child of Prophecy, Percival, Commander of the Round Table Army. Grimir, Magecraft Advisor to the Northern Army. Da Vinci, Sage of the Outside World. You four stay here with me. Murmasa, Tanner, you're dismissed. There's a tent set up for you at our campsite. Go rest up for tomorrow. You want me here too? Well, okay. I guess I can offer my opinion as a representative of Caldia and proper human history. Don't worry about me, Tanner. Take advantage of the chance to rest. I'll go over what we cover here with you later. Give Mash my best. You gonna be okay on your own, Artoria? I'll be fine. Knocknareve may be running a show, but I'll keep her in line if she starts getting carried away. Besides, with Percival here, I'm sure we can figure out a strategy that both our forces can agree to. We're getting in deep, big wartime meeting. Welcome back, Master. How did this strategy meeting with the Round Table Army and the Northern Army go? Well, after Knocknareve went and declared war on Morgan. I see. So Knocknareve said this will be a battle between two opposing nations. And since the general plan of attack for the castle is decided, now they just need to hammer out the particulars? Yep, final battle begins tomorrow morning. Our goals are to obtain Rongominiad and to stop the British Lostbelt's collapse from engulfing the world. I know we need to defeat Queen Morgan to achieve both of these goals, but... Think you can fight her? She's kind of your grandma, isn't she? Right? Technically. That's weird. If we settle this peacefully, I'll do that. If we could settle this peacefully, I'll do that in a heartbeat. But Queen Morgan has been ruling Britain the way she believes is right for 2,000 years. Words won't change her mind, especially since that's not how she wants to be persuaded. She'll only change her mind once she's been defeated by a power greater than her own. She said if you want to make your dreams come true, you need to prove you're strong enough to do so. That's Ash the Savior as I knew her. She was always, severe like that. So knowing Ash is actually making her more willing to fight in this case. What about you, Senpai? I know this battle will determine the future of Britain, but I also know it's been 44 days since we left the storm border and we're approaching our deadline. You don't necessarily have to take part in this battle to complete our mission. We could always sneak into Camelot while the Round Table Army and the Queen's Army are fighting each other and acquire Rongomini that way. If Holmes were here, he'd probably suggest we do just that. No, I'm gonna fight. I want the Saint Quartz. My mind is already made up. Right. Running away was never an option. We have a responsibility as humans from proper human history who have already overthrown many Lostbelts. And we have hope as the Child of Prophecy's companions who've been with her on her journey. If we're going to fight Queen Morgan for the future of this beautiful land, those are the two things we need to hold on to. Wow. Is this all going to be eve of the decisive battle? I guess it's eve, and I guess it doesn't say the decisive battle, huh? Huh. Maybe this is all just prep. No, because it's going to be morning now. We're going to go into battle. It's what it's going to be. Maybe not. Oh, hey there, Tanner. Out for a walk? We wrapped up the strategy meeting a little while ago. All that's left now is to wait for tomorrow morning. You and Mash are the key to our assault team, so make sure you memorize the layout of the castle before you turn in. Here, Knocknareve drew a map of the castle town. Remember how tall its buildings were when we went in for that audience? That's why you gotta watch your steps so you don't get lost, especially since I won't be there to help you out this time. You're not gonna fight with us, Habitrot? I'll stick with you guys until you get back to, the storm border, was it? But I'm not gonna fight Morgan. I'm gonna see how things play out here. That said, if you're gonna fight her, I'd like you to take her on and give her such a beating she'll have no choice but to admit she's outclassed. She's really a sore loser, so she'll never admit defeat otherwise. How about you, Grimir? You gonna join them in the war? Well, yeah. Honestly, I don't care which side wins, but I'm gonna keep Artoria alive. My goal is to ensure that the Fairy of Paradise fulfills her duty. As long as Artoria stays alive, she can always try again, even if she doesn't defeat Morgan tomorrow. Hey, the prophecy said she'll be the true king, remember? Oh yeah, Einzel's prophecy did say something about that, didn't she? Chosen by the staff of the selection, the savior, guarded by travelers from afar, shall reach the throne. The true king shall arrive at the throne. That doesn't necessarily say her, I'll say. The true king shall arrive at the throne. Except now this bloodied crown. Why is the crown bloody? Ring, ring, like raging thunder, like weeping flame. Let us hearken to the 6 bells ringing. So far, everything's played out just like as it said. Artoria's rang the 6 bells, had a foreign mage watching over, and tomorrow she'll be within arm's reach of the throne. As far as I can tell, her and Morgan's spirit origins are evenly matched, and their support teams are too. So it'll all come down to tomorrow. That said, I really don't like the image of a bloodied crown. It's gotta be talking about Morgan's blood staining the crown after her defeat, right? Damn it, Einsel. Couldn't you have chosen better imagery for the Child of Prophecy's victory? I mean, it probably also means that Morgan's been squeezing Britain hard for a long time now, but still. Alright, Tanner, can you give Percival a message for me? I'm happy to inscribe runes on the Round Table Army shields too, but I've got my limits just like anyone else. So tell him to gather up his 100 best soldiers and have them see me. You'll find him in the officer's tent. Thanks. Keep an eye on Habitrot while I'm away. No problem. We've known each other since the first Grimir, after all. Don't worry, I'll make sure she doesn't push herself too hard again. Buddy, are you asleep? Or no, he's probably super sad. There's one thing in this world that no one can do anything about. Love. Bards have long sung of love. They have called it fate, joy, and even death. In their songs, those without love are, in a sense, blessed. And those with it are, in a sense, discontent. When I was a young child, I didn't know what they meant. I believed love was simple, and merely loving and being loved was enough to be happy. When I was bought from my ranch, I was taken to a dazzlingly beautiful city. I grew up in one of their educational facilities with the other children who'd been purchased like I was. I wanted for nothing. They said a fairy built the whole place on a whim. What if we tried raising them like ourselves, had been the question they asked. The result was a rearing house not meant to raise Tamlin, but human knights. It was run by the head of the Fang clan. They said he didn't choose to do it. He only came to see us a few times, so whenever he did, he told the children the same thing. I bought all the children born that year. There are no other candidates to be found. If none of you show any promise by the time you grow up, this venture will be considered a failure. I know life isn't easy here, but do the best you can. He wasn't the most delicate of men, but he wasn't cruel or heartless either. Why did I go into the restaurant business? Well, I suppose I can tell you. We Fang Clan fairies are wild by nature. Once we go into a frenzy, nothing can stop us. That's why we once committed a grave sin, wiped out an entire clan for the smallest of reasons. The Fang Clan needs to learn etiquette, good taste, and moderation. We're better off as vegetarians than carnivores. That will make up for our past sins, of course, but I want to at least ensure that we don't repeat them. I couldn't respect him, but I didn't hate him either. Nothing else, at least he had a conscience. Our days of training continued. Over time, more of the children failed to make the cut and were given to other fairies as slaves. The only reason I lasted is because I was lucky enough to be born with a strong constitution, and... Oh, this was the school they were at. Well, that makes a lot of sense considering, school wouldn't be a concept in their world. I just kind of just went over that, and then I realized, wait a sec, what do you mean, school? That's it. See how your left arm got hot just now? That's your magical circuit. It's one of your gifts, Percival. Even humans can generate magical energy. From there, it all depends on how you use it. Go on, try and copy me. Because I had the strongest, gentlest knight of the lake in all of Britain with me. It's okay. There's no need to be hasty. I'm here for you, Percival. Woodrose won't come here anymore. The venture has been shut down. So you have all the time in the world to grow up. Please don't be reckless. Please don't get hurt. Please don't do anything fun without me either. You're my first student, my first child, my first brother, my first friend. My dear Percival. And you grew up healthy and strong. That was the love I knew back then. Just being loved was all I needed, and being able to meet her expectations was the greatest happiness I had known. But as I grew older, every year I saw a little more of the world. Bit by bit, I began to see what I didn't as a child. Listen, Melusine, it's terrible, just terrible. After all the work we put into the manor, those bones people keep messing with it. The bones people? The skeletons? I understand their confidence since their own manners doing so well. But lately they've been so baselessly slandering ours almost nonstop, and they're even harassing the humans who work there. I'm afraid, you know how rough they can be, right, if they did anything to the humans? Oh, just thinking about it turns my knees to jelly. Tell me, are my wings still glistening? Of course. It's okay, don't worry. I'll take care of everything. The love she knew, the love she'd been given, wasn't love at all. It was merely affection. Love was destiny, joy, and death, a curse she was powerless against. I knew, even then I knew it was all wrong. But love distorts all our good sense. It makes fools of the wise, and good people do evil things. It causes beauty lose its true form. Even though she knew she was only being used, she still clung to that love. Even as it stole the happiness she should have known, and the future she should have enjoyed. She's crying. What? That day, I heard a cry of grief that tore my very soul. That could be a live wallpaper. It was the night I broke the rules and rushed back to the cathedral to tell her I'd been awarded the Spear of Selection. That was when I saw her lost in despair at her own foolishness. I couldn't help her, even say anything to her. I was still only 10 years old at the time, so I wanted to grow up as quickly as I could. I was sure that once I grew up, I'd know how to free her from that horrible curse. That's right, I'm going to save her, I swear it. I don't deserve any praise for becoming the commander of the Round Table Army. I'm the one to defeat the Queen to set her free. I never had any intention of fighting for all of Britain. I only wanted one thing, no matter how selfish the love that drives that want may be. I know, Gareth. I'm not a child anymore. I will see that your lance finds her. It's the least I can do to make your wish to protect Britain come true. Hey, buddy. You here, Percy? Oh, hello, Tanner. Something I can do for you. You have a message from Grimir? I see. 100 of my best soldiers, huh? I'll go round them up right away. Thanks for telling me. You alright, bud? Not obvious, huh? It's true. I got scolded for spacing on the strategy meeting, too. But it's okay. I know what I need to do now, and I've made my peace with it. I'm Percival of the Round Table Army now. I have things worth fighting for, and wishes of my own. Now, I'm only going to fight for what's right. Please let Artoria know that, too. And she probably saw right through me at the meeting earlier. Right, so Percival's really is ... Tomorrow, we face Queen Morgan. I know we're gonna have to fight Lancelot as well. So I ask that you let me handle her myself as the commander of the Round Table Army. I may not be able to defeat her, but I swear to at least keep her busy until the battle is over. Sure want to do that, Percival? I am. Artoria and Nocturne are the main actors in this battle. The prophecy didn't say anything about me anyway. This just goes to show that I didn't know what love was when I was a child. Well, that's a sad note to leave on. What do you say after that? Do you just go, oh, okay, and leave? I don't know. Boy, we are not getting into any battles this part, are we? At all. Hey, where's Artoria? What's she up to? Artoria was just here a moment ago. She was going to take a walk outside the camp to get some night air. Sure, it's a little reckless of her to go out on her own right before a big battle, but she's strong enough now that she'll be fine even if one of the Tamlin were to attack her. The real problem is whatever made her want to go outside. Maybe she's just tired from being around all these people? Well, you know, she's always had a tough time with crowds. Well, with fairies, really. Not that she's much better with humans either. Maybe it's because she can tell when someone is lying. Huh? She can? Must be Fey eyes. Marion said that it used to be impossible to lie to fairies because they could see her true feelings. From what I could tell, she still had a little of that power herself. Hold on. Oberon told us that ever since British fairies started imitating human society, they lost the mystic that gave them their Fey eye. Right. Artoria isn't a British fairy. She came here from Avalon, which means she can see lies. So she can tell what others are really thinking. No. She might be seeing even deeper than that. It might be rich coming from me, being as I spent my life fixated on things like evil, retribution, and karma, but she can see people's karma. That'd be terrible for her. I'm sure one reason fairies disappeared from proper human history is the advance of civilization. I bet a bigger one, though, is that they couldn't stand seeing human malice laid bare. As humans invented language and began studying the world around them, the whole species grew wiser as knowledge spread from the privileged class to the masses. That also helped lies, deceit, and pretenses spread all over the world. That's what the fairies couldn't bear. That's why they stopped having anything to do with humans. But now fairies at Lostbelt are just as pretentious and deceitful as humans. And only two fairies can see just how ugly those lies are. Artoria and Morgan. They're the only two who are like the fairies we know in proper human history. Gotcha. Makes sense. It's one thing to see through lies, but quite another to see the lies themselves. Sometimes we humans choose to go along with what someone's telling us even when we know they're lying. We can turn a blind eye if it'll help things go smoothly. But you can't do that if you have Fey eyes, so they leave you no choice but to face both the lie and the true feelings behind it. Yo, what if we just banned lying forever, yo? It still wouldn't be enough. There'll always be gaps between what someone says and thinks, no matter how honest they are. In some ways, it's actually better if someone lies to you out of contempt. As long as you know what they're doing, there are ways to cope. But if you can see the lies for what they are, But if you can see the lies for what they are, the worst are the kind people tell you to make you feel better. Even if they're doing it for good reasons, a lie is a lie. So even if white lies told out of kindness and consideration seem dirty to those with the Fey eyes, then this Britain must be no different from human society as far as a fairy paradise is concerned. And if that's true, would she really want to save a world like that? Of course she would. She's got her head screwed on straight about that kind of thing. If she was going to jump ship, she'd have done so long ago. I don't know why she's so stubborn. But whatever the reason, she's definitely made the most unyielding steel around. The kind of person who will never compromise their principles no matter what. Gotta say though, you never know what life or materialization has in store. I was planning to head back to the foreign god as soon as I'd worked off what my life's worth. But this job turned out to be a whole lot longer than I expected. One thing led to another, and next thing I knew, we were only half a day away from attacking Camelot. I'm doing it with the Master Kalia too. Who'd have thunk? Now that you mention it, it really is a hell of a situation we find ourselves in. I can only imagine the headaches Director Gordolf must be getting when he reads my reports. I don't suppose you'd be willing to join us officially, would you? You know? Not a bad idea. Wait, can you do that? Sure I could. All the foreign god did was summon servants and give them jobs. So we'd have no reason to fire since we'd been handpicked by the strongest being in the world, so she knew we'd never betray her. She still doesn't get the idea that some people are better fit for certain jobs than others, or that they might have actual preferences of their own. She just takes a pro and con approach to everything. I guess that aspect might be different now. I think I'll let another version of me handle that discussion. This time it just wasn't in the cards. Oh, damn, too bad. I know. Make sure you hang on to that feeling, though. I can tell there was no lie or zealousness to what you said. The only reason Artoria's made it this far is because of how honest you are with yourself. I'm exhausted. I can't believe Knockner actually wrote orders for each and every soldier. Squad leaders are supposed to handle that kind of thing. I guess all the mental labor tends to fall on the few who can handle it, since most Northern fairies don't think about complicated things. Still thinks that they're all honest and trustworthy, and they're all very loyal to Knockner. Now that the Round Table army is regrouped too, the battle tomorrow should play out just like the prophecy said. Morgan will be defeated without a single casualty. The pilgrimage went great. None of your traveling companions dropped out along the way. And the rebel army's in great shape. There's not a single soldier keeping secrets, just like in the Queen's army. All signs are pointing to a happily ever after. Right, Artoria? You lied about half of that. Let's see. Yeah, Gareth. Yeah. You're still hung up on Gareth. But remember, the prophecy predicted all of that. The round fortress shall burn and the bell of water shall appear. What happened to her wasn't your fault, and she didn't desert you either. That was her fate. Is that really what you think? Of course it is. Besides, Gareth wouldn't want us to be sad about her being gone. I don't mean about her. I mean about what you said about there being not a single casualty. The truth is, you think our chance of winning are slim, that the Round Table army is going to be slaughtered, and the humans will be the first to die. And yet you're trying to comfort me by telling me there won't be any casualties. And there's what you said about no one hiding anything, just like the Queen's army. Be honest, Oberon. You've actually known Knocknari for a long time now, right? But you pretended you'd never met her before, when she captured us after our audience with Morgan. It's true I have. But if you've known Knocknari and I were friends, you never would have trusted me, would you? That's not all of it. When we saw Mash for the first time back in Norwich. That's Mash! That's Mash. You already knew who Mash was, but you pretended not to. You also knew she was in Sheffield, but you didn't tell us. You kept it from Tanner so we wouldn't go looking for her there. I did. I wanted Tanner to work with the Child of Prophecy of his own volition, not because Caldia ordered him to. I admit it was dishonest of me. As powerful as a Tamlin as Mash is, it was still dangerous for her to be up north by herself. And then there's... Yes? You could say one of the reasons I'm so overly invested in Britain's welfare is their kindness. Who says the worthless are incapable of doing anything? They might be powerless, but they were the only ones who cared for me. So of course I have to do everything I can to pay them back. That's why I care so much about taking Morgan down. That sight is her detecting a lie. And then there's the fact you were gone on the morning of our battle with Woodwose's army. We only won because the Queen's reinforcements never showed up. And that only happened because you did something to stop them. You always seem so honest and sincere, but you never tell the truth. You never tell anyone what you're really thinking. Why is that? Why do you keep lying to us? Do you actually want to defeat Morgan? Of course I do. There's not a fairy in Britain who worked harder to bring her down than I have. I want to destroy her fairy Britain with every fiber of my being. That means I have to lie, then I'll lie. Besides, I'm not the only liar here, Artoria. You haven't been truthful about why you came this far. Your true motive has nothing to do with saving Britain. And I'm not the only one who's figured that out. Tanner's catching on too. I am? I am. Yes. Mm-hmm. You haven't been fighting for humans or even other fairies, not for 1 second. Your true motivation lies elsewhere. You just refuse to talk about it. What are you saying? That's ridiculous. I'm the fairy paradise. I was sent here to save Britain. Well, that's your guilt talking, not you. What exactly does it mean to save Britain, do you think? Do you know what Muramasa once said? He said that every fairy is seeking absolution, that every last one of them yearns for death. He said that deep down, that's what every fairy in town we've been to, every fairy in every town we've been to secretly wants. Muramasa said that. He doesn't have fey eyes like we do, but he must be pretty sensitive to the pain people carry in their hearts. That's why he's so conflicted about this, isn't it, Artoria? You don't talk about things like that because you know it won't change anything. The same with me. I'll do whatever it takes to defeat Morgan, whether I like it or not. So why don't we leave it at that for now? Tomorrow's the last battle. I'm sure there'll be a time when you come clean about what you're really thinking. That's what this whole pilgrimage was for, right? And who knows, once you come clean, you might just find that nobody thinks it's a big deal anyway. Just mad interesting stuff with the characters, you know? Oh, frick, are we going? Nope, we're super not. We're not. Eve of the final battle is that, right, huh? It's the eve. It seems Knocknareev's army and the Round Table army have rendezvoused. I still can't quite believe Her Majesty didn't try to stop them. It's one thing to give your enemy a fighting chance, but this is far too generous. Between the Child of Prophecy's protection, the King Clan's fate domain, our forces should be evenly matched. I'm sure Her Majesty means to crush them, but there's still a chance it could get lucky. If our forces are evenly matched, and then there's no chance of them winning as long as you and I are here. The two of us alone could end this right now, whether the High Queen is here or not. I could destroy Knocknareev's army on my own, and you could do the same for the Round Table army. We're already being nice by giving them till morning. There's no sense meeting them on their terms. The only ones we need to be wary of are the foreign mage, Galahad, the two servants, and Percival. But I can handle all of them on my own, too. They're all fairly good fighters, but none of them can match me in the air. The only fairies who could fight me on even terms are High Queen Morgan, or you, in a larger form. If I were in their shoes, I want at least twice the forces they'd had now before challenging Camelot. But unfortunately for them, the soldiers from Salisbury coming to join them have only just crossed the western plains. The Fang clan might have helped tip the scales if they'd gone over to their side, but they're nowhere to be seen lately. They don't have a chance. The rebel army dies here. Lancel's prophecy will never come to pass. Assuming they don't secretly have a unit equivalent to one of us Tamlin on their side. Indeed. As long as they lack a Tamlin of their own, they won't stand a chance. Her Majesty ordered me to only kill soldiers that make their way into the castle town. I'm going to patrol the air and take care of any soldiers that try to get past the ramparts. The knights Her Majesty had stationed in town will never get a chance to fight. And of course, I'll never get through the main gate, not with you guarding it. Part of me feels a little bad for crushing them so thoroughly, but there's no escaping reality. Great Britain's last war will end with a whimper. It won't be so much as a single surprise. The last war, huh? True. I doubt there'll be another rebellion of this size. But the calamities will not end here. Your Majesty has no intention of stopping a great calamity. A victory here won't do anything to stop most of Britain's fairies from dying. Do you not think that's sad? Does it not make you question the point of winning this battle? I'm surprised to hear that from you, Barghest. I didn't think you thought about those kinds of things. Woodwell said that fighting is the Fang clan's instinctual drive, and pitting themselves against powerful foes their greatest pleasure. There's truth to that. I won't deny that there's a part of me that's a little different from a blood-starved beast, too. Or that's little different, rather. The thing Bavanshi and I have in common is that I, too, cannot help myself from dominating the weak. But that is my own personal issue, not one that affects all of Britain. I see. You did become a Tamlin to protect Britain, didn't you? Afraid that I don't share your aspirations, though. The name Her Majesty gifted me is a hindrance, not a help. I'm an airborne fighter, not a knight. Human swordplay only slows me down. I accepted this name in spite of that to remain as Lancelot. I think it was about 100 years ago when my body began showing signs of anomalies. My love for her maintained my form up until then, but even that couldn't last forever. Her Majesty saved me from that fate, but this Tamlin name would have reverted back to my old self. I don't serve Her Majesty for Britain's sake. I serve her to preserve this form. That's why I don't quite understand what you're talking about. That's not true. I do understand. I've just chosen not to think about it. Because I have something else I care about more. Something I care about more than Britain. I do too, as a matter of fact. I at least want Adonis to live out his natural life. I doubt you have anything like that yourself, though. That's why I envy you. High Queen Morgan has no love in her, but she does trust you implicitly. She'll always send for you, no matter how many times you fail her. No wonder Woodwell was just jealous of you. No love. Her Majesty. No, I suppose you're right. She has always and only ever loved this land. I owe Her Majesty a debt as well. Couldn't be here today without my gifted name. Her Grace made me who I am. Even if she only offered it to control me, a debt is still a debt. However, I cannot repay that debt any further. I have to protect Britain's future. And his. Oh no. Oh, it's kind of scary. It's kind of scary. It's kind of, I don't know. It's nighttime now. Could somebody turn on the light? I have to get to the ball. I have to put on my beautiful dress. Hello? Is anybody there? Forgive me. Forgive me, Mother. It wasn't my fault. I didn't want to do it. But my lord said he wanted to see what moving corpses were like. So I sucked the blood from one. Just one. But my lord was so taken with them that he had me make lots more in the basement. Of course they were going to overrun everything. Of course they were going to. Help somebody, please help them. I'm hopeless on my own. I've never been any good on my own. I never had anything of my own. That's why nobody ever helped me. I have no power, no special skills, no friends. If Mother abandons me too, then I won't have anything at all. Oh, there she goes again. Looks like Tamlin and Tristan's not long for this world. Finally. She lost her Tamlin name when the child prophecy defeated her, then Beryl Gut disappeared. Now she's finally exhausted her majesty's patience too. We're to seal up her door with wax tomorrow. Probably too much trouble to even execute her. Now she'll fade away with no one ever knowing what became of her. What's wrong with that? Sounds like a fitting end for the most hated figure in all Britain. Run me fairy, she's killed hell. I'd offer myself if I could get away with it. Don't bother, she's rotted so much she can barely move now anyway. She'll die soon enough on her own. Hell, you might even get cursed if you get too close to her. If ever someone weren't worth killing, it's her. You said it. At least once she's gone, Her Majesty ought to be back to being... Who goes there? My queen gave strict orders to let in... Oh, if it isn't Lord, it's gonna be B-Boy. No, Spriggan! I wasn't told there'd be gods here. I hate to do to them what they couldn't... Whoa! I hate to do that to them when they couldn't be getting paid much, but from the looks of it, I'm sure the next generations will show up soon enough. I got the key from them. Shall I open the door? Of course. Apparently she's bedridden now, so do be gentle with her. But don't be afraid to get her rough if she acts up. We don't have any time to waste. Yes, sir. Come on, let's go. Not worth killing, That's just the sort of thing I'd expect a vulgar lot to say. Really, most things aren't worth anything. The question is whether they're worth keeping or best thrown away. Prices are something we set for ourselves. Even the worst piece of junk can still have its uses. What's B up to? What's he up to? Whoa. I have to make certain. I have to ask her. Majesty, High Queen Morgan. That can't be right. Oh, how wonderful. How good to see you're still alive and resolute as ever. I couldn't believe my ears when Spriggan asked me to take you in. But looks like you really did survive. Coral, do treat his wounds, won't you? Use the best magical powder we have. Thank you, Aurora. You really are a beautiful fairy. I'm sorry I doubted you, even for a moment. It's no use, his chest wound refuses to close. Not even the magical powder can help him now. Besides, the Round Table Army won. Wouldn't it be, well, dangerous to harbor Lord Woodrose here now? We mustn't give up. We'll gather all the medicine in town if we have to. It doesn't matter which army won that battle. Now that the battle is over, we can't let him die. He's the proud head of the Fang clan after all. He's kept Britain safe for hundreds of years. He doesn't deserve to die so miserably. Aurora, how could I have been so foolish? If only I'd heard your voice to begin with. Now, don't try to talk, Woodrose. You need to conserve your strength. I can hardly believe it. I wanted to dismiss what all the fairies have been saying about Her Majesty cutting the Fang clan loose as mere rumor, but...
Rumor. What rumor? What did the High Queen do to us, Aurora?
Oh, poor Woodrose. Then you really didn't know, did you? The Queen never did send you any reinforcements. She hates the Fang clan for how many humans they consume, and meant for both sides to fall in that battle. Her Majesty only trusts the Tamlin now. That's why she didn't even send anyone to look for your body. It pains me to say this, but she abandoned you and your Fang clan, Woodrose. She thinks you're nothing more than old guard dogs who have outlived their usefulness.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I won't believe it. Majesty, your Majesty, that can't be true, it can't. The Fang clan's loyalty, our devotion, it must have meant something to you, right? I have to find out. I have to. Even if I have to kill her to do it.
We have so many players moving at the same time. It's really good. Things are literally like combining in ways that are super cool. Like it's setting itself up like a big climax. Right? There's just so many things going around. Well, what are you doing outside the camp? Are you so amped up you can't fall asleep? Can I ask the same of you, Oberon? What you doing here, bud? Victoria seemed like she had some doubts, still had some doubts, so I thought I should check in on her. Our armies might be evenly matched, but they've still got the Tamlin on their side. If we give them so much as a centimeter, we're done for. I gave her a little pep talk. I said, hey, Artoria, know what King Arthur really means? It means King of Bears. And boy, was she surprised. I can see it all too well. You know how competitive she is, right? Lighting a fire under her works better than trying to get her to see reason. In just a few hours, the veil of night will be lifted. The final battle will begin when the morning larks sing. At this point, I've done everything I possibly can. I can't say I don't have any regrets. I've been flying around this way and that looking for something, but I can't look anymore. I'm out of time. Yeah, even though you said it doesn't exist here, right? You think just because something doesn't exist means people don't look for it? But you've got it all wrong, Tanner. We search because they don't exist. We can't help but seek what never can be. That's what my Queen Titania is to me. She's no different than the stars twinkling in the sky. Because no matter how hard we try, those of us here on Earth will never have one for ourselves. We can talk about me some other time. Truth be told, I'm not used to being open about my feelings. For now, you should head back to the tent and rest up. If you're having trouble sleeping, I can always sprinkle you with a bit of sleeping powder. I have melatonin gummies, it's okay, buddy. May not be much good at fighting, but when it comes to putting people to sleep, not even Merlin the Incubus can beat me. Might just be my imagination, but... What's up? Seems like you're always angry. Well, yes, I suppose I kind of am. Truth to tell, I've been a little upset ever since I heard you've been going around erasing Lostbelts. Not at you, you understand. More at those who will learn the stories later. I know it can't be helped, of course. Every event ends up as just a story to people who weren't involved in it. Decades after your adventure is over, it'll all be written up in some report. Those who read it won't think of it as anything more than a lesson to be learned. That's what I can't stand. Half of Oberon the Fairy King was born from a story, after all. That's why my feelings are split right down the middle. As a heroic spirit of proper human history, part of me wants to see Britain restored to its rightful state. Being a fictional character myself, part of me wants to let its story continue. And that's hard to reconcile with the rest of me. I'm okay with excising Lostbelts to bring back proper human history. It wouldn't exist if not for the latter. But the idea of those Lostbelts being neglected and forgotten in the future still hits me hard. I don't want them to be thought of as things that deserve to disappear. I want people to understand that, even if they were cut off before their time, their existence had meaning. Again, maybe I only feel that way because I'm directly involved in this one. People always have moved forward by recording the past. They can't hold on to the same values forever. That we even have phrases like old-fashioned or behind the times is proof We've moved on from what we once were. You actually hate Morgan, Oberon? No, she may be our enemy, but I don't hate her. Hell, I've never even met the woman. And you know, the story of this land of the Fae she came up with, it isn't half bad. The entire air of the High Queen is basically a fairy tale Morgan wrote herself. It's a dream she wanted to see come true so much that she poured her heart and soul into making it a reality. Whether it's a good story or a bad one, I can't help but respect the effort that went into creating it. Which is exactly why I'm pouring my heart and soul into defeating her. As a fellow fairy tale being, I want her curtain call to be memorable. Of course, we don't have a chance against her if we don't give it all we have, so those memorability isn't really a factor. Take care of Artoria, Tanner. Like I said, my part is done. From here on, this is your battle to fight. All I want now, before I depart this world, is to see you guys win this battle spectacularly. Okay. Alright. Ooh, yeah, that's a long one. Interesting. What could that be? Anyways, that's the end of that. Next time we'll be moving on to the final, this is actually now the final chapter of part 2. I thought it was, people in my Discord were talking, I got numbers confused. It's fine. Anyways, we will see you next time for some more Let's Play Fate Grand Order as we move on to the chapter entitled Morgan, the end of part 2. We'll see you then. Ciao.